always, led out by Swoop the Eagle. He would normally wear number 2. He's sponsored by the Green Pig, but unfortunately our first injured player this evening, he is on the bench. Temba Yabantu. He wears number 4, Jeremy Smith, accompanied by Ben on his 11th birthday. Unfortunately, we saw him on and off on BBC. He would wear number 7, sponsored by Specialist Panels. Victor Moses is on the bench also. We also saw him limp off as well on Sunday. He would wear 13, sponsored by Northern Prince Ocean. Darius Defoe, also on the team bench. But we now start to run out wearing 16, sponsored by Time Metropolitan College. Eddie Matthews, accompanied by Jonathan. He wears 21, sponsored by Edge Group. Darulasa, accompanied by Isabella. He wears all the 2s, sponsored by Newmarket Nibbles, Jamal Williams, accompanied by Tiffany. Wearing number 23, sponsored by Perfect Image, Kai Williams, accompanied by Phoebe. He wears at number 32, Kyle Williams. He wears all the 4s, Ramon Fletcher, accompanied by Imogen. And he wears the famous 20, sponsored by Simpsons, Ben Lonoy. Here are our assistant coaches, Ian McLeod and Dave Forrester, your team management, Gary Wilson and Dave Harvinger. Of course, they are your Edge Group Eagles, Newcastle.
Welcome to the Eagles Community Arena for tonight's BBL Championship clash between the hometown Edge Group Eagles Newcastle and the visitors from just down the M1, the DBL Sheffield Sharks. Big game for both sides. The Eagles looking for a win, which would give them a 3rd place finish in the BBL, and Sheffield currently sitting in 6th place and looking to move up further and also consolidate their playoff place. Alongside me, as always, Dave Eldigan. And Dave, we've got some interesting news, obviously, all the way through tonight, but team news very much interesting.
Well, it certainly is. I mean, only 4 games to go, and these 2 teams have got to play each other twice before the regular season ends. The one previous meeting was a comfortable 12-point home win for the Sharks. That was back in December, and Sharks have made numerous changes since then, and although they've been very inconsistent, you can't avoid looking at the fact that just over a week ago they beat the Rocks, who were absolutely on a roll. But this inconsistency highlighted by the fact that 2 days later they lose at home by 29 points to Plymouth. By all accounts, the really tough win against the Rocks, but Eagles also had a tough loss obviously in London. But you got to temper that with the fact that Victor Moses, I think, only played 5 minutes, and Darius Defoe certainly was not fit last week, and that's where we start tonight, isn't it, really, with those 2 on the bench. Makes the game a lot easier for Mike Tuck and Marsden. Could be an interesting game, hard to call.
Yeah, and that's Dave, just to confirm that both Darius Defoe and Victor Moses didn't train at all this week. The word hope that one or both may be fit enough to play some minutes. Victor Moses has suited up, but he hasn't warmed up. And also Temba Ubantu is also out for the Eagles, and even assistant coach Dave Forrester's missing, so it's a very much shortened the Eagles bench tonight. The last time in that game down at Sheffield in December, the Sharks actually out-rebounded the Eagles 41-24, and that was with Moses and Defoe in the side. So, you know, that could be a big factor tonight, but there were some changes from that side. The Sharks on their third point guard of the season. Obviously, Mackie Mackay's back in the side, and he replaces Anthony Collins, who played in that game down in December, and also Leslie Smith, who played for Bristol last year, and he was signed for Sheffield. He's not playing, and they've got an interesting character from Slovenia called Drago Brashina, who I've been talking to Andrew Bridge, the ex-Eagles and Sharks player, and he's very, very impressed with this Brashina. Thinks he's a real glue guy, and one of these guys, typical European, who likes to do his job, and he's not worried about stats at all. But just looking at the starting fives, and obviously the Eagles starting five, very much a change there. Fab Flanoy comes into the starting five, and we're guessing he'll play at one of the forward positions, probably with Jamal Williams, who's also in the starting five, his brother Kai Williams in the starting five, and the backcourt of Ramon Fletcher and Jeremy Smith as normal. For the Sharks, we have the backcourt of Mackie McKnight and Chris Alexander. Chris Alexander, one of the premier scorers in the BBL, and then you've got Dirk Williams and Robert Marsden and also Matthew Martin. So we're all set for the game. Lead referee Simon Unsworth will be putting the ball up for the minute, and it's actually, well, there you go, Fab Flanoy's having to go for the tip-off as well. Almost wins it, but it's the Sharks who win it. Martin who wins it, and it's Mackay who's going to set the first play up for the Sheffield Sharks in their grey outfits.
Well, I'm surprised Mike Tuck's not out there, Jeff. That's the first thing, and because they must have known that Victor and Darius weren't going to be able to play tonight. I thought it was a perfect chance to team up Marsden and Tuck. I think they're a really good pair together.
As Alexander misses the first shot, but the first rebound of the game is taken by Marsden on the offense, and Sharks can recycle. The ball goes round and about. Flanoy almost gets a hand in. Alexander, Martin from 12 foot. That's just off. Jeremy Smith trying to get in for the rebounds, and I think you can already see it's going to be tough for the Eagles on the boards tonight.
Well, you know, I think back to last week, and Victor got injured early on and Darius got foul trouble early on, and I thought Fab and Jamal Williams did a great job on defending the big guys from Manchester, and there's nobody here as big or as tough as Willie Clayton, but you know, it's points I'm worried about for the Eagles tonight.
Dirk Williams trying to get things moving for Sheffield. Sheffield almost spent a minute in the Eagles half. Here's Marsden with a turnaround jump shot. Doesn't go. Fab Flanoy gets a hand on it, and Jamal Williams cleans up, and he almost goes coast to coast behind the back, and I think there's a foul on Chris Alexander as Jamal Williams tried a pretty fancy move behind the back, and then was checked by Alexander.
I don't think we're missing guards tonight, are we? But Jamal obviously wanted to go coast to coast there, but smart foul from the Sharks stopped him.
Yes, Fletcher with his first shot. It just hits the front of the rim, bounces out. Williams collects a rebound. This Dirk Williams, so many Williamses in the league, isn't it, Dave? It's unbelievable. Here's Marsden. Here's Matthew Martin. Alexander back into Marsden. Back out to Mackay. Faced by Flanoy. Thought about the three. Decides not to shoot the three. Comes across. Here's Matthew Martin left-handed for two. And that's the first points of the game, almost a minute and a half in. Left-handed Matthew Martin just inside the three-point range makes a two. At the other end, Fletcher makes a drive, left-handed. Leop can't make it. Sheffield come away with a rebound again. Here's Williams from the corner. Dirk Williams from the corner makes a three, and it's 5-0 already for Sharks.
Well, that's the highlight for me of Dirk Williams' career over here was that tremendous dunk he had, and not this season, last season. But one thing is, he's suddenly a threat from outside as well.
Jeremy Smith from outside, his rim's out, hits the backcourt, runs out. Rob Marsden picks up another rebound. Chris Alexander into Martin. Martin outside to Mackay, outside the three-point line, faced by Fletcher. Gives it again to Williams. He turns a corner against Kai Williams, makes it all the way to the basket and lays it in for two. Sharks off to the hot start, 7-0.
Seems to be typical of visitors coming here at the moment, Jeff. I mean, Manchester got to absolutely red-hot start last week, but Eagles weathered the storm well, and it looks like they may have to do... Oh, here we go.
Yeah, just going to have to weather the storm. Kai Williams from NBA range knocks down the three. Gets the Eagles off and running and on the board. Alexander turns the corner.
Interesting that Kai's on
What a great pass from Martin. Mackay slipped inside on the back line and brilliantly found by Martin, and Mackay lays it in for 2.
Fake screen, slipped to basket, wide open.
Great move from the Sharks. Here's Furnoy. Nice little layup to Fletcher, who gives a really nice bounce pass to Jeremy Smith. Jeremy Smith lays it in for 2 with his left hand. 9-5 to Sharks.
Excellent teamwork there from the Eagles. Nice finish as well with the drop bounce pass.
There's Dirk Williams again. He's feeling it early, Dirk Williams. That's another 2 points for him.
Well, when you got elevation like Dirk has, I mean, you're comfortable out. You're shooting over smaller guys.
He certainly has got some bounce. We were talking about that before the game. And Smith gives it to Furnoy for 3. That one's just off. Mackay picks up the loose ball. Feeds it into Marsden. He'll go against Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams, good stance, but Marsden does well. Turnaround floater. And the Eagles have decided that's enough is enough, and there's going to be an early timeout. 6:16 left to go in the first quarter, and Sharks leave 13-5.
You know, Rob Marsden, to me, much underrated player, but that is a typical thing that I've seen from Rob in his time in the BBL. I think he's very, very comfortable when he gets the ball in the low block or he gets the ball in the paint. He's got good footwork, and that was an excellent example of how to use your feet when you're trying to make an inside score.
The Sharks off to the hot start, and with the Dirk Williams already up to 7 points. Mackie Mackay with 2, Matthew Martin with 2, and obviously Rob Marsden with 2. That's their 13. The Eagles replying with 2 from Jeremy Smith and that long 3 from Kai Williams.
Well, there's one thing for certain tonight, Jeff. It's going to be interesting from the Eagles coaching point of view, because when they rest either Kai Williams or Jamal Williams or Fab, then you're looking around to think, well, who's going to fill that forward spot? You can almost look at, they're going to say, you know, could well play 4 out, 1 in, with the 4 out all being guards.
Well, when you look what's on the bench at the moment, obviously you've got Drew Lasker and Kyle Williams will probably be the first couple of players to come in off the bench. Eddie Matthew, who got a lot of minutes down in London Lions, and ended up in double figures with 10 points. We know he can score points, but really it's that inside game, isn't it, Dave? That's where it's going to be tough.
Well, as I said to you before, if they've known in practice there's a doubt over Vic and Darius, I would have been tempted to teach him how to run 5 out. Yeah,
that was what we were talking about. Meanwhile, Fletcher finds Furnoy all the way to the basket, lays it in for 2, rolling back the years and rolling the ball home. That's what we were talking about though, Dave, wasn't it? That we know that the Eagles knew they were probably going to be without Defoe and Moses, and probably have practiced that way. That's another great pass from Matthew Martin. That's 2 he's made, really. He's picked the Eagles' defence apart, and Rob Marsden coming along the baseline picks it up and drops it in for 2. 15-7.
22 points on the board. I'm telling you, I'm not fantastic on stats in terms of what's happened, but I think 5 of those baskets, that 10 points, have come from backdoor cuts to baskets. 2 for the Eagles and 3 for the Sharks.
And the other ones have come from 3-point range virtually, as Jamal Williams drops in a 3 for the Eagles to cut the gap to 5. As Dirk Williams feeds Rob Marsden. Marsden turns, bouncing in against Jamal, fadeaway jump shot, well short. Jeremy Smith picks the ball up, brings it over the halfway line. He's going to try and drive in himself, can't find a way, gives it to Jamal Williams, looks for the 3, can't make it. Dirk Williams beats Kai Williams to the ball. Here's Chris Alexander. He tried to feed Marsden, but well picked off by Jeremy Smith. And Ramon Fletcher at the other end makes the 2. Eagles within 3 at 15-12. Kai turns the corner. Out to Matthew Martin for 3. That one's off short. Kai Williams gets up well and takes the rebound for the home side. Here's Smith. Fletcher inside, outside. Oh, what a great pass to Furnoy, and another excellent pass from Furnoy to Kai Williams, but Kai can't make the layup. I think Kai was a little bit surprised to get the ball off Fab. Actually, I think Fab was like, we thought Fab was going to just lay it in.
I mean, I said I was worried about where points are coming from offensively, but they're giving an exhibition in moving the ball and people working without the ball. That was tremendous 3 passes. Just a pity that Kai didn't finish it off.
So substitutions for both sides. Jeremy Smith takes a seat on the bench, and Drew Lasker comes in, and for Sharks, Marko Bakovic and Drago Brasina, I'll get it right in a minute. Brasina come on. and Mike Tuck as well. So that's Chris Alexander, Matthew Martin and Rob Marsden who take the bench.
Well, what he might lack in athleticism, he certainly makes up for in guile. For all intents and purposes, he looked like he was pushing Mike Tuck all the way to the basket, but he stopped, pull up, beautiful shot.
There's a great steal from Ramon Fletcher off Marko Bakovic. And somehow manages to keep the ball alive. Out to Lasker, Lasker for three. Doesn't quite go. Tuck takes a rebound.
Never got himself lined up for that shot.
Again, he possibly wasn't expecting it. He possibly thought Fletcher was going to go to the basket. Here's Dirk Williams. He goes for three. That one's just off over the head of Bakovic. Fletcher picks up the rebound. Eagles back to within two after that last basket. Fletcher driving in the basket, thought he was fouled. Oh, and I think he's also thinking, well, if I'm not fouled, surely my shot was deflected.
He may have a point about being fouled, but the referee doesn't see it, he can't call it.
But that Eagles comeback has forced Sheffield into their first time out with the game with 3:28 to go in the first quarter. The Sharks lead by one at 15-14.
Well, I think the hot start wasn't as hot as Manchester's last week. I think that the Eagles quickly regrouped, and obviously you see the effect of that on the score. Now only down by one. I think the Eagles are moving the ball really well, but so are the Sharks. This is an interesting game, and it's even harder to call with the way the teams are playing at the moment.
Some quick look at the scores. It's obviously 15-14, not a lot to pick out. Obviously Jamal Williams it is who leads the Eagles in scoring with 5 points, but do notice that Ramon Fletcher's got 4 assists already, averaging 9 for the season per game. And for the Sharks, it's still Dirk Williams who leads them with 7, or Marsden with 4. Rebounds at the moment, Sharks have got 9, Eagles have got 5, so we're already looking at a deficit for the Eagles there. Just noticing coming out of the timeout that referee McDonald's having a word with Fletcher, who obviously thought he was fouled on that last play. And he's telling, I think Fletcher's having a bit word back, saying, I've got no beef with you, Mr. McDonald. It was Mr. Unsworth who didn't call it.
I mean, you mentioned the rebounding there. I mean, one of the things you pointed out to me is how heavily out-rebounded the Eagles were back in December down at the English Institute of Sport.
And that was with Moses and Defoe in the side.
Absolutely.
So, we're going to go with Sheffield after the timeout. Tuck finds Mackay. McNair again. It's a long 3-point shot from Brashina, misses, but a good rebound by Mike Tuck. Showed his experience under the basket, gets that ball and lays it home.
Two things I know about the Sharks for sure is you've got to box out Marsden and you've got to box out Tuck.
Great leap from Drew Lasker to take that pass from Flanoy well over his head. Kyle Williams, who's come on, throws it back to Kai Williams, and Kai Williams nets a 3. That levels the scores at 17 all.
I mean, I felt Kai started the season in pretty good shooting form. Then I felt he went through a slump, but I think that slump is over. I think he's shot quite well in the last few games.
McKnight finds Bakovic. Bakovic hustled by Kyle Williams. Drew Lasker, he's so unlucky. Drew Lasker picked that pass all day long, but unfortunately just couldn't gather the ball in. And Dirk Williams managed to come back with it, gets it up into the hands of Mike Tuck, and Captain Dependable drops in another to the Sharks. But then, almost a highlight play from the Eagles. Great pass from Fletcher, the alley-oop, and Kyle Williams got right up for it and couldn't make it, but Sharks have turned that right the way around as Bakovic makes a 3 at the other end. Yeah,
Fab's had a quick word in because he got frustrated, and his frustration, he knocked his head, stood under the basket for just a second to give them a 5-on-4 advantage.
Kyle Williams, this time he does drop the ball in from Fletcher's pass.
Made up for it there, right?
Yeah. Sharks lead by 3 at 22-19. 1.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. There's Brashina to McKnight. McKnight back to Brashina. Nice pass to Tuck at the free throw line. Can't make the 2. Bakovic does really well with the rebound, but he throws the ball away to Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams tries to go past Brashina and then puts the floater up. Doesn't make it. Tuck deflects it into the hands of Dirk Williams, and it's Dirk Williams now on the charge at the other end. Left-handed layup. Lovely play from Dirk Williams once again. Really smart player, really excellent player, really athletic player, and a good 2 points.
I tell you, that Euro step he started there that filled the defence. I'm pretty sure he started outside the 3-point line.
Yeah, very, very athletic, very long in range, isn't he, Dave?
Yeah.
Kyle Williams steps against Brashina, knocks down the 2. Kyle Williams averaging just over 12 points a game in his rookie season. The Eagles need a big game from him tonight. Pulls them back to within 3. 24-21 to Sharks. McKnight feeds Brashina. Brashina waves the play away. He's got Kyle Williams on him. Sorry, Kai Williams. Bakovic behind his back to Tuck. Tuck lines up the 2. Doesn't make it. Bakovic does well to bat the ball away and Tuck again, but he can't make it again. Good work by young Bakovic under the boards there for Sharks.
Yeah, Mike Tuck there lost his balance and still felt he was foul ball. Him and Fab having a real go at each other.
Wow, Ramon Fletcher, well aware of the clock there, drove well all the way for the Eagles. Laid it in for 2 and cuts the gap to 1 point at the end of the first quarter. Sheffield just on the high side by that single point, 24-23.
I think Fab and Mike Tuck might know each other well for the number of times they've played against each other over the years. Referee Unsworth have stepped in there because he thought it was a little bit more than push and shove, and I think that was an excellent decision he made there. Very wise refereeing. I mean, the game's close. Both teams are close. You're right. The Sharks made the better start, but I think that the Eagles have settled down and making up for the fact that they're missing 2 key players. Great promo once again for the Bennecost Playoff Championship final down there in the O2 Arena, London, in Sunday, May the 19th. Tickets available from the BBL website and also from www.axs.com. That's on Sunday, May the 19th, and both these 2 teams have a shot of getting there. And I think they'll both be looking to get a good, as high a position as they can in the playoff race. Say for those Bennecost BBL playoffs. And obviously tonight would be a big win for the Eagles, as you pointed out. You know, they would consolidate the position as third, can't be taken away from them. But I think the Eagles camp at the moment will be a little bit more concerned about how long Victor Moses and Darius Defoe are going to be sidelined.
I think one of the little Flanoy tries a 2-point shot. Well done from Kyle Williams, does really well to save that ball and bounce the ball off the Sharks player for the Eagles to get an end-line ball. I think one of the things that people didn't realise was how that Darius Defoe was far from fit as well, Dave, last week. You could clearly see the Victor Moses thing, and Darius had done well to even play the minutes he played last weekend. I think that's going to be a foul call on Mike Tuck inside on Flanoy. Exactly what you were talking about, Dave.
Yeah.
These 2 know each other really well.
Both got to show they're smart enough not to let this escalate into situation, because neither bench can afford for these 2 players to get into foul trouble. You know, Fab Floyd's an important cog in the wheel tonight in terms of his ability to defend multiple positions.
Team Alliance not liking that call, and he's making his point to Marianne Dodds. Eagles, Kai Williams puts the ball into Flanoy from the end line, or almost a great pass from Flanoy, but a great interception by McKnight. You know, pushes the ball hard into Alexander's hands. Alexander, fantastic pace. First step, really races to the basket and lays it in for his first points of the night.
I was just about to say, I think Chris Alexander, a player I like a lot, has been quite quiet tonight, but he certainly burst into life then.
Fletcher going to the basket again, doesn't make the layup. Sheffield looking to turn this around. McKnight, Brashina from outside. That's just off. Kyle Williams does a great job of getting the rebound and bringing the ball over the halfway line. I think he could attack the basket himself. He does, just make it though. Brashina takes the rebound. McKnight finds Hanson Young, who's come on. McKnight thought about the shot, decided not to take it. Brashina thought about the three, he decided not to take it. McKnight looks as if he's settling up into Tuck. Tuck finds Brashina inside. Brashina, nice play from Brashina. Looks like a good all-round player, this guy.
Yeah, great. I thought it was a great head fake. Did just enough to get Jamal off balance, feet off the ground, and a really nice hook shot.
2 points to the Sharks, nearly 28 to 23. Fletcher, Kyle Williams, McKnight on his gone. Flanoy tries to give it in to Kyle Williams, didn't make it. Fletcher out to Lasker right on the button, doesn't make the 3-point, but a great rebound by Kyle Williams, and the Eagles will recycle. Good anticipation there by Kyle Williams to get that rebound, but Fletcher's 3-point shot is short. Hanson Young picked the rebound up. McKnight quickly into Alexander. Good defense by Kyle Williams, and it stops with Alexander driving to the basket. Alexander goes trying again to drive to the basket, finds Tuck inside. Tuck up and over Flanoy for 2 points. Sheffield's lead goes up to 7, 30 to 23. Eagles preparing substitutions. Jamal Williams and Eddie Matthew on the subs bench, having a good chat about what they're going to do when they come on. Meanwhile, it's Drew Lasker for the Eagles. Kyle Williams lines up the 3, it hits the front of the rim. Mackay touches it first, but Kyle Williams is able to come up with the rebound, lays it into Kyle Williams, and Kyle Williams puts the 2 points in. Eagles back to within 5. It's McKnight again for Sharks. Sheena tries to find Tuck, but Kyle Williams done that all day long. He picks it up, gives it to Lasker. Lasker to Kyle Williams, into Fletcher. Fletcher makes the layup. Good transition basketball by the Eagles. Gets them back to within 3. It's Hanson Young to Tuck, and back to Hanson Young. Sheena just outside the 3-point line, guarded by Kyle Williams. Gives it back to Hanson Young. Shot clock down to 7 seconds. McKnight comes inside. Flanoy's going to be called for the foul. He acknowledges it straight away. McKnight tried to turn around. Flanoy just brushed him. It's called for the blocking foul. So Jamal Williams coming back on, and Eddie Matthew. We have Fletcher going off. Somebody else needs to go off, I think. Can't play with 6 Eagles. It's Kai Williams who goes off. Mike Tuck and Mackie McKnight coming off for Sheffield. And back on comes Dirk Williams and Rob Marsden. Dirk Williams in the corner, guarded by Lasker. Goes away, gives it to Chris Alexander. Thought about the 3, but good defense by both Kyle Williams and Flanoy. And then he launches it from way downtown with only 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Well, there's good hands by Matthew Martin, who's back on. Yeah, excellent play from Sharks there. Matthew Martin stole the ball off Kyle Williams, and then him and Hanson Young set up the 2 points for Martin to convert. Lasker bringing the ball over the halfway line. Gives it to Matthew. Matthew thought about his 3-point shot. Gives it to Kyle Williams at the free throw line, but he can't make the 2. Marsden takes the rebound. The Sharks back on the offense. Only 5 points in it, but it feels as if Sharks are dominating a bit more than that.
They are. They're dominating because they're having a lot of possession. I mean, they keep getting very, very close to getting caught out by the 24-second clock. But Alexander's pretty smart. He knows when to step up the pace of the offense.
There's another almost 3. Dirk Williams puts his shot up with 2 seconds left to go. Had to put the 3 up, and that one bounced back to Drew Lasker.
I think it's also excellent defense by Drew Lasker. How many times have we said that over the years?
Jeremy Smith back on for the Eagles. Marsden gives it to Hanson Young. Eagles just 5 points on the deficit. Sharks 32-27, chance to increase that lead. As Dave says, they seem to have had a lot of possession, a lot of the play. Here's Martin inside on Flanoy. Flanoy does a great job again in defense, forces a hard shot from Martin. Drew Lasker comes up with a rebound. Lasker now pushing it in the other end. Jamal Williams calls for the screen, calls for the double screen. Jeremy Smith picks it up. Jeremy Smith, faced by Rob Marsden. Smith around the house as it goes from Lasker to Jamal Williams, and I think that's going to be a foul on Hanson Young. Yep, and check. 4:35 to go. Sheffield still 32-27. We haven't had a point for a while.
I think the worrying thing is that the Eagles not having the points. I mean, Sharks running long offences, and there's obviously some strategy behind that, but the Eagles just not converting the chances they're creating.
So Smith at the elbow, trying to get past Hanson Young, gets him up in the air, doesn't make it, but gets his own rebound, tips it back to Jamal Williams, who drives in hard, and that's going to be a foul on Matthew Martin, as Jamal Williams drove really well to the basket. Jamal Williams will go at the line to shoot 2.
That's a good break for the Eagles, because you don't care how you get the points when you've gone long spells without scoring. But I mean, Jeremy's just been substituted, and Ramon Fletcher's been brought back in. I think that's just to add a little bit of extra dimension to the point. But I think also Jeremy's not making the best of decisions tonight. You said he didn't have a particularly good game at London, and what I'm finding tonight is he's giving up the wide open shot, using his dribbling, creating a much more difficult one that he's still trying to put off.
Jamal Williams makes the first from the line, makes the second as well. 67% free throw shooter normally, but he's knocked both of those down, so that takes the Eagles to win in 3 at 29-32. Sheffield though back on the offense. Hanson Young, really big battle inside between Marsden and Jamal Williams. He has Alexander way out, calling for somebody to come and give him the screen. He's pushing hard against Flanoy. I think Flanoy's going to be called for the foul. Alexander wants a continuation, but he was a long way from the basket when the foul was called.
That was definitely. You mentioned Jamal Marsden matchup, and we talked about Jamal doing a really good job last week against Clayton. I think he's doing a good job tonight against Marsden, because he's not letting Rob get into a comfort zone of where he likes to receive the ball to start his back to the basket moves. That's what Jamal's doing right now. And here we go again. Look, he's taking up his position off the ball. He knows exactly where to play Rob Marsden off the ball.
Alexander turns the corner.
Boy, that was great rotation defense by Drew Matthews.
Nate Danson gets the shot away right on the buzzer again. Dave, as you say, long 24 seconds. She's be almost every offense, whereas the Eagles straight down the other end, and Fletcher knocks in a 2 from the elbow. And that takes it back to within a point. 32-31. Sheffield on the high side.
I thought that lead was false, Jeff, because either Sharks are deliberately being patient, or the Eagles are making them work hard for every point. But I think the Eagles have created lots of good chances. They just needed to start knocking them down.
That was a better offense there from Sharks. Good ball movement from Rob Marsden, about 10 foot from the basket on the baseline, and he knocks down his 2. Puts the Sharks back up by 3 points at 34-31. Good pass in from Lasker to Jamal Williams. He tried to find Flanoy, but it was picked off by McKnight. And at the other end, that's a smart foul really by Eddie Matthews.
A fantastic foul. He did everything right. I hope there's even no consideration there. They're looking at, you know, thinking, could that be an unsportsmanlike? Absolutely no way. He did exactly what the textbook said. Let him get 2, don't let him get 3.
Now he takes a break. And the BBL's all-time leader in free throw shooting, averaging 90% in his career, averaging 91% for this season. Chris Alexander goes to the line.
Which means, Jeff, he's going to miss both.
Oh, he's automatic there, this fella, I'm telling you. There you go, 101.
Yep.
I think that commentator's curse does quite work, but I think when it comes to Chris Alexander, it's a different matter altogether.
He's a good player. He's a good all-round player. I know he's a veteran, and he shows that a lot in the way he's played. He's still got a turn of quickness. He did a crossover dribble tonight. I'm telling you, he beat most of the Eagles team. And that lovely transition basket he got when he absolutely outran everybody down the floor. So there's still some speed in those legs yet with Chris Alexander.
Referee McDonald cleaning the ball, but he cleaned it in front of assistant coach McLeod for the Eagles, and he made some kind of a point to McLeod as well. So once again, a little bit of controversy in there. Alexander had to wait a long time for this free throw, but knocks it down. Surprisingly, 2 from 2. Pushes Sheffield back up to 4 points. Eagles do well to break the press. Unfortunately, the last pass from Fletcher's just deflected by Marsden. Alexander comes up the other end. His shot's airballs his 2-point shot from the free throw line. Lasker picks it up. Fletcher to Matthew. Matthew for 3. Just hits the front of the rim. Marsden takes yet another rebound.
Eddie's a natural catch and shoot guy, Geff, and he had that, and he thought about it, and that moment of indecision cost him a good shot with rhythm.
Alexander now faced up by Lasker. Gives it to Williams. Williams turns the corner, gets up in the air, very athletic, lays it in. Well, doesn't lay it in, floats it in.
Yeah, good observation. He's showing quite a range of skills tonight. A couple of good threes. Really tough to stop in transition, but also he's really good with his floater.
That's a great play from Jamal Williams at the other end to find Drew Lasker cut to the basket. Lasker lays it in for 2, but it still Sharks up by 5 points at 38-33. Sharks calling the play. Lasker almost pinched that one off Alexander, but he's in doing so has just nudged Alexander. That'll be a foul. Bakovic looks as if he's going to come back on for Sheffield. Chris Alexander going out. Alexander doesn't look best pleased to be substituted out there. 1:43 to go.
Well, nobody knows their players like the coach. He knows when things are not quite right, and sub may be the answer, or he wants to bring in. I'm pretty impressed with him. Mackay's playing without the ball. I mean, 10 people on the floor, only one can have the ball. The actual tonight really do the development that both teams make, and I've been particularly in offense without the ball.
And so Kai Williams as Rob Marsden turned and laid up for 2. Kai Williams stripped him. Fletcher finds Jamal Williams after he's fallen too hard though. McKnight it is who takes the rebound. McKnight working the ball into Bakovic. Skip pass across to Martin. Bounce pass in low to Marsden, posts up and comes back out to McKnight once again. The shot clock edging down. Long 3 from Bakovic, doesn't make this one. Lasker takes the rebound, minute to go. Sheffield lead 38-33. Jamal Williams is going to go all the way to the basket. Rolled around the ring but dropped in. That's a timeout, Sheffield, with the Eagles down at 35-38, 52 seconds to go in the half.
I was impressed there with the way Jamal changed that shot. He was going for a straight line drive. He saw Dirk Williams come out of nowhere and immediately completely changed the angle of the way he laid that ball. In fact, he went for a finger roll in the end. His hand couldn't have been further away from his body. Great move by Jamal.
First shot. Second shot. And he nails it. Congratulations. Well done.
I think that we were a little bit uncertain about the way this game would go, but in terms of that, was Darius going to play, was Victor Moses going to play? In the end, it's turned out to be a pretty even matchup, I think. And Sharks, I think this 5-point lead that I think is about right for the way the game's been played so far.
The Eagles have pulled back on the rebounds. It's 20-17, and game's leading scorers Dirk Williams with 11 points, and he has 4 rebounds to go to his 11 points. So as Rob Marsden 6 points and 4 rebounds for the Eagles. Well, it's the Williams brothers as well as Fletcher. Jamal has 9, Kai has 8, and Ramon Fletcher has 8. Fletcher also with 5 assists. And Drew Lasker 5 rebounds. So last 52 seconds of the half. When you look at Jamal Williams, got 9 points there. He's only averaging 5.6 for the season, so he's almost doubled and that's exactly what the Eagles needed him to do.
Absolutely, and I felt he filled the void left by Jamal and Darius last week very well as well.
Great. Oh wow! That'll be in the top 10 players of the week, I can guarantee you. Fantastic pass from McKnight, the alley-oop, and Dirk Williams looked as if he was above the shot clock, never mind the basket, as he came down and smashed it home for 2 points. At the other end, Kai Williams goes for 3, doesn't make it. Alexander takes it, And yes, probably Sharks are going to hold for the last shot with a 5-point lead and a chance to make it a 7 or even 8-point lead. But that was some play, that last one.
Well, you talked about the top 10, it might make the top 1. I mean, the pass was tremendous, the timing of the cut was tremendous, and the leap was absolutely awesome.
Dirk Williams this time he can't. He's trying to get a 3-point shot off there, and Frenoi did really well to block him.
Yeah, actually, we had a good angle there, and he had one eye on the shot clock, and this is why he lost the vision on where the basket was, and he didn't see the double team coming.
2.3 seconds left to go. Shot clock obviously off. McKnight to inbound in front of his own bench. Double roll, and it's Dirk Williams who gets free, and he nets the 2 on the buzzer. Or is it a 3? No, it's been given as a 2. Long 2, so that means that the half-time score is Sheffield Sharks 42, Newcastle Eagles 35, and I think that's probably a pretty fair reflection of the half.
I think so. I think you know, that 5-point deficit that held us so long was a good reflection on the way the game was being played. I think offensively they know exactly what they're doing. Sometimes a little bit overpass when they've got good chances, but I also think the Eagles have been playing pretty good team offense as well, moving the ball well. And early on they had those back cuts to the basket which caused Sharks a lot of problems. Sharks have adjusted that by not some overplaying the passing lane so much, but you know, with only 7 down, remember how well the Eagles fought back last week from a deficit, and that could well happen again.
So join us in about 10-15 minutes time for the second half of this BBL Championship game, where Sheffield Sharks lead the Eagles by 42-35. Welcome back to the Eagles Community Arena for the second half of tonight's BBL Championship clash between the Sheffield Sharks and the hometown Newcastle Eagles. Sharks leading 42-35 at the half, and just before we get into the stats and have a chat about that first half, just to give you a quick update from Leicester. Down at Leicester we have the Riders at home to Glasgow Rocks, and it's the Rocks who have a 3-point lead at the half at 41-38. So at the moment it's the away sides that are doing well, and we've just been having a look at the stats, haven't we, Dave? And you know, it's only there's only a 7-point gap, but on the actual stats we've got Sheffield shooting at a lot better percentage than the Eagles at the moment.
Yeah, I mean the stats do confirm what we thought, that the Sharks were perhaps the better team, and sometimes stats can be misleading, but shooting much better apart from 3-point range. But neither team really is shooting particularly well. I mean, 20 and 23% from that 3-point line is not the sort of return you'd expect from BBL teams, but you know, they're leading the assists as well, so I think that they're worthy of that lead, and what might they do to hold that? Well, keep playing the same way they are, but don't, you know, keep your eye on that 24-second clock. See a good chance, take it. And with the Eagles, I think that maybe a little bit more in transition. I thought some of their most impressive baskets have been at the end of the end of transition.
Just having a look at the leading scorers in the game. For the Eagles, it's Jamal Williams on 9 points, Kai Williams on 8 points, and Ramon Fletcher on 8 points. Ramon Fletcher also has 5 assists. For Sheffield Sharks, the outstanding player in the game so far, I think there's no doubt about it, is Dirk Williams. He has 15 points. And Mike Tuck and Rob Moss both have 6 points. So Dirk Williams leads all scorers with 15. The one we were talking about as well, Dave, was Sheffield's leading scorer at 19 points a game is Chris Alexander. He only has 4 points at the half, and probably he'd like to be looking to play a big part in the second half.
Well, maybe, but I think also the way the Sharks have set up their offense is for the benefit more of Chuck, Marsden, Michael Martin. I'm surprised that he's actually posted up as much as he can. Well, obviously he's got a fair bit of size, but the guy who's it's tough for the Eagles to stop is definitely Dirk Williams. Which is an interesting point, because talking to
Andrew Bridge before the game, he said exactly that. He said with Victor Moses and Darius Dubois, he said he thought that the Eagles may well struggle with Dirk Williams, and they certainly did in that first 20 minutes. And it'll be interesting to see how Eagles make an adjustment. Eagles have made an adjustment looking at the starting 5. Looks like Drew Lasker's going to start the second half. Possibly in place of Jeremy Smith, yeah.
I had a good chat to Drew, not after last week's game, the week before, I think, when they played the Flyers, and obviously you could tell during that game he was bothered by these pains and spasms he's been getting, but he doesn't have 2 games to worry about this weekend, does he? That's been one of his problems, because Drew can guard bigger players, he can guard quicker players, and I think the Dirk Williams factor, I think Williams is making it tough for them to guard Tuck and Marsden.
Sheffield will get us underway. They've got the half underway now. Sheffield are ball movement across. Eagles jumping out on defence. Here's Chris Alexander, drives in, great pass to Rob Marsden. Reverse layup from Rob Marsden. Gets the Sheffield Sharks on the board and takes the lead up to 9. 44-35, a really good play from Chris Alexander.
Absolutely, you don't keep a player of that quality quiet for the whole game.
Lasker feeds Jamal Williams. He back out to his brother, thought about the 3, comes inside for 2 instead, can't make it. Rob Marsden beats Flanoy to the rebound, and Sheffield's off and running. There's a pass inside. That's a long 2 from Dirk Williams, another assist to Chris Alexander.
I think this is a deliberate tactic. I noticed it in the first half, particularly when Marsden and Tuck are on together. Dirk's just drift into that corner for a spot-up 3. Forget about him, he's going to nail it. You overplay him, you're giving the room inside to what the Sharks want.
Here's Alexander going all the way to the basket, drops it off to Marsden, another reverse layup. I think that's 3 assists for Chris Alexander for the first 3 baskets of the half. And that's 48-35, and suddenly it's a 13-point lead. Ramon Fletcher with the ball now. He'll need to take this over for the Eagles. Drew Lasser drives inside, tries to get in up there, gets the ball up. Flanoy almost got the rebound, but it was knocked away by Dirk Williams.
I mean, I think, Jeff, with the lineouts you've got tonight, you think to half-time, the Sharks have got more things they can talk about taking advantage of than the Eagles have tonight. Do you not agree?
Yeah, definitely so, and I think that's probably, certainly looks that way coming out. Is a 6-0 run.
Yep.
Straight away takes the lead up to 30, and as I said about Chris Alexander, 3 assists. He's now up to 7 assists for the game.
Chris Alexander with a free reiner trying to penetrate and kick off. Dirk Williams floating around in that corner for the 3 points. Not Eagles for the Eagles to defend in the way that they normally like to do. But that's a terrific move by Lasker.
Yeah, found by Flournoy, and Lasker got his player up in the air. Nice fake, held his position, laid it in for 2. Eagles' first points of the half. As McKnight finds Marsden. Back to Matthew Martin. McKnight for 3. That one hits the front of the rim. Jamal Williams can't get it. Hand on it by Rob Marsden. Back into the hands of Chris Alexander. Shakes and bakes against Lasker, but Lasker holds up, and from way downtown as the shot clock almost expired, Alexander's 3's well off the mark. Kai Williams, he found Drew Lasker in the corner. Back out to Fletcher. Fletcher trying to get to the basket. Oh, fantastically behind the back pass to Flournoy, but unfortunately Flournoy's pass to Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams had just moved a little bit too quickly, and Flournoy's ball pass goes out of bounds. The Sharks recycle.
No, Fab's spent a lifetime, hasn't he, teaching team philosophy, and he's been a great example of the way he'll pass that ball on to players in a better position, but he had a really good look there.
Alexander back out to Martin. Martin going in hard, but Drew Lasker gets a hand in and knocks the ball dead. The Sharks ball at the end line.
I think Michael will reflect on that play and said, you know what, I had a really good wide open look there and I chose to dribble into 2 defensive players.
Back out to Alexander behind the 3-point line. Yes, McKnight going along the baseline. Wow, somehow manages to get that shot up and over Jamal Williams and in.
Tough
Sharks
move, but
yeah.
again, you know, good control over his body as he pulled up. Changed his forward momentum into vertical. Caught the Eagles completely by surprise.
The other end, Jamal Williams is just off with his 2-point shot.
Well, good shot to take. He worked himself wide open, but not the best of executions, Jamal.
It's a timeout for the Eagles, who trail 50-37, and I have to say, just looking at the body language, they look a little bit flat going there to the bench. Coach McLeod trying to rally the troops.
Well, I think in terms of what obviously the Sharks have been discussing in the dressing room, it's clearly playing off big time for them, because Alexander's become more prominent, not drifting around looking for points. He's become more prominent as a facilitator. Marsden's great at working off the ball with that. Tuck's equally as good, but he's not on the floor at the minute. But I think what's causing them problems, it may sound like a simple little thing, but Dirk just drifted into that corner as a 3-point shooter.
When you look at Dirk Williams, he's got 17 points, and he's 7 from 7 inside the 2-point as well. And that's a fantastic effort from him. And as you say, Chris Alexander up to 7 assists. Rob Marsden having a big game as well, 10 points, 6 rebounds. They're the main ones for the Sharks. For the Eagles, well, nothing's really changed for the Eagles since half-time.
So what have we got? What's the run this half?
8 points, 8-2, isn't it? Yeah, 8-2, 8-2, yeah. So the Eagles only 2 points scored by Drew Lasker.
That's in over 3 minutes play.
Yeah, 3 minutes 5 seconds. Eagles only scored 2 points.
I mean, 50 is not a massive score when you consider that the Eagles are without 2 of their better interior defenders, but that 37 was the thing that was always going to worry me, where the Eagles get all the points from. I mean, particularly Ramon is so good, isn't he, at playing that 2-man game with Victor.
Yeah. That
often has an outcome, and then Darius comes on and that changes the dimension a little bit more, because you now got 2 bigs who can get the basket to worry about.
Sheffield running with a starting 5.
There Dirk goes again, just drifting while the player's on the opposite side.
Matthew Martin for 2. That's at the front of the rim, but Matthew Martin was straight in to get the rebound, and Drew Lasker couldn't pick the ball up, and the ball goes dead. There's Alexander, finds Marsden inside. Marsden out to McKnight. McKnight little bounce pass into Matthew Martin. Back out to Rob Marsden. He tries to drive in. Once again, the ball it's coming off an Eagles player, but Eagles, in particular Kai Williams, didn't agree with that call, but it's still gone Sharks' way. It hasn't been changed. McKnight will inbound. Alexander Kim very smart off the board, but can't make his three. But Dirk Williams is there to get the rebound. He drops it off to Matthew Martin, and Matthew Martin's fouled as he goes to the basket.
As a unit, Jeff, the Sharks are working well in one area in particular, and I think that is the straight line dribble drive to basket is being effective because of how well the player off the ball is rolling to the basket for the dish off.
Matthew Martin goes to the line, shooting 60% from the line this season, but he makes the first.
I mean, I seem to think over the years that Matthew's played at pretty much every level. I remember when he was playing Division 4. I remember when he was playing Division 2. You know, and here he is in Division 1 and starting tonight in both halves and doing a reasonable job for them.
Knocks both those free throws down. That takes him up to 6 points as well. Which is above his season average, which is 3.5. Jamal Williams can't make it, but it's a good rebound by Flamoy. Lasker, Kai Williams for 2. Knocks it down. First Eagles into double figures. Kai Williams on 8. Sorry, on to 10 points from 8. But it's still a 13-point gap. It's where the Eagles going to pick up a run from is the question, really, because Sheffield do look as if they're really well controlled, moving the ball nicely, taking their time, looking for good shots. And that was a really good effort there, but just didn't roll. But it was nice work to get the Rob Marsden open. The other end, Fletcher goes in, out, and lays it in for 2 with his left hand, knocks it down, and just that one play is enough for a team of Lions just to, I'm going to have a talk about it, just keep our guys focused perhaps.
Well, he's obviously wanted to stress something, but what a terrific move for Ramon Fletcher. I mean, you know, he creates that space for himself and just shields the ball so well.
Fletcher goes into double figures on 10 points as well.
Give you a chance to shoot for 2 tickets to go to our Newcastle Fun State Eagles Fans Night. Give me the ball. What's your name? Tyler. Okay, get yourself up here to the free throw
Again,
line.
we advertising the Benecos British Basketball Playoff Final. Tickets available at axs.com. Sunday, May the 19th, when both the WBBL and BBL finals will be played, along with an awful lot of other very, very special entertainment on the day. Back to this game though, Dave. Team's just about to come out again. Eagles down by 11.
I mean, I'm thinking about, you know, you're saying WBBL and BBL that day, and I think it's more predictable about who might get there from the WBBL than the BBL, which just tells us what an exciting season this is, and that reflection on comments I keep reading about. Everybody's beating everybody at the moment. Terrific way to finish a season. And I understand there are more exciting things to come next season.
Yeah, obviously the BBL's changed the way things will be run next year. We'll see if we can get that in sometime during the game, because what we have now is Sharks on offense with Hanson Young, who's come on. He gives it to McKnight to Brashina. Multiple changes for the Sharks. It hasn't worked there. Eagles have got the ball away. Kyle Williams back to Jamal Williams. Dirk Williams does well to get a big stop up. All behind the back pass from Fletcher to Flanoy. Back from Flanoy back to Fletcher. Fletcher trying to find a way to the basket, can't do it, but Drew Lasker nearly gets there. He can't make the 2. Fletcher looking a little bit frustrated for the Eagles, just half jogging back. Back on defense now though is Tuck to McKnight.
I think he's frustrated
There's
because
Bashina's going to launch a 3, and he makes that 3, the Slovenian. That's a great 3-point shot from the Slovenian. Makes the lead now 14, which I believe is the biggest lead of the night.
And you look at the way Ramon gave the ball quickly back to Drew Lasker there, I think he's even more frustrated. But he's frustrated because of just not executing and finishing the great moves they're doing.
Thought about the 3 there, Fletcher, but McKnight got his hands up quickly. Great pass from Fletcher to Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams can't finish though. Once again, Sheffield will come away with the rebound. Mike Tuck takes that rebound.
Well, Mike Tuck's not the easiest person, is he, for Jamal Williams to score over? So I think you've got to do a little bit more than a head fake.
Williams head faking. Drew Lasker just would not let him get the shot off.
Absolutely, Drew stuck to the task there magnificently.
As Brashina tries another three, that one's off, and it was right on the buzzer. Kyle Williams, who's on, now takes the rebound. 3:38 to go. Eagles trail by 14. So now back in. Nice spin move by Jamal Williams, but Brashina stood tall. Fletcher step back three over Hanson Young, who didn't get them hands in the air. Atiba Lyon scratches his head a little bit disappointed, I think, in his young point guard.
Well, he might be scratching his head, but Ramon Fletcher, that'll help to get rid of the frustration, and also good for the Eagles that they're getting a three-point shot, just close the gap a little bit. They're going to try and work the rest of this quarter, getting into single digits before they go into the final.
There's Brashina, back in Flanoy in, doesn't make the shot, but it's recycled by Sheffield. Hanson Young into Brashina, who's got Flanoy for company. Oh, that's a superb move. Right-handed reverse layup as he backs Flanoy down. Excellent play from Brashina, puts the shot to back up the 50.
Certainly took advantage of his height advantage there.
Fletcher for three again. This one just almost drops in and out. Dirk Williams comes away with the rebound. And he's going to drive all the way to the basket, and he cuts through like a knife through hot butter and lays it in.
I didn't. Excellent description. I didn't see the gap, but he obviously did. From here, it looked to me like the Eagles haven't left any gap at all for Dirk to get through. He somehow wriggled his way through, and nice finish.
Perhaps it was the Sheffield steel knife. Sorry. Couldn't resist it. Yes, Eddie Matthews come on. He's going to shoot a three, and he makes a three. Eddie Matthews knocks the three down. Cards are waving in the air.
Step back three, Jeff, veteran play. He practices it every night now when he comes out. The first thing he does is he starts practicing that step back three in his own individual warm-up.
Nice reverse pass from McKnight to Brashina. Faced by Flanoy again. Brashina once again managing to turn Flanoy inside and outside, make the two-point layup. Kyle Williams almost loses the ball. He has Kyle Williams for three, and he can't make that one, and McKnight chases the long rebound down.
It was obvious in the first half Brashina had those moves, but what he's got brought in the second half is he's finishing them much better.
Here's McKnight. McKnight will find long ball out to Dirk Williams for three. That one's just off, but McKnight can pick the rebound up. This time Fletcher gets his hand in and bounces it off McKnight.
That play McKnight did there, Jeff, is one that's coming more and more into basketball at the top level, where your typical pick and roll doesn't finish with the ball going to the roller, it finishes with the ball going to the weak side wing.
McKnight actually limps to the bench there, Dave, I just noticed. He has a seat. Just looks like he's just stretching himself out a little bit. Eddie Matthews thought about another three. Nice long pass from Matthew along the floor to Fletcher. He finds Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams hasn't got the shooting touch tonight though. Too long that one, and Mike Tuck picks up the rebound. Chris Alexander now running the point with McKnight on the subs bench.
I keep thinking about these Eagles lineups. Is Jeremy Smith on the injured list as well? Or?
Well, that's a great point, Dave, because I was just thinking that myself. You know, I'm just looking at the bench, and
because the one thing sometimes you can get from Jeremy Smith is he can start the game, things don't quite go right for him, but he gets a chance for he gets a chance to strive to that basket. He's tough to stop. And at the moment, the Eagles are just not going through that spell like that in the first quarter, setting things up, but just not finishing well.
I just noticed Jeremy Smith, if you can see it on television or not, but he's sitting at the end of the Eagles bench next to the physios, and he has got his shooting shirt on, so it does possibly look as if he's got an injury. Meanwhile, his backcourt partner, Ramon Fletcher, says to Dirk Williams, well, if you can cut through a defence, so can I, and lays it in for two. But that's only 12 points it's down to. Brashina. Tuck finds Hanson Young. Nice cut from Hanson Young, but he doesn't go to the basket. Ball comes out. Shot clock down to two. They're not going to get that shot off, are they? Oh, yes, somehow Alexander did. Tuck almost tips it in as it bobbles around, but the Eagles have come away with it. And Matthew from halfway on the buzzer can't make it, so it's 61-49 to Sheffield at the end of the third quarter, and it's going to be tough for the Eagles to come back from here. Okay, so there's a minute left for the teams to talk things over before they come out for the final quarter. And so that gives Dave and I a chance to think about what's going to happen in that final quarter, Dave.
Well,
or what needs to happen.
Well, what talking things over is, I mean, you're down Darius, you're down Victor, and you think about where you might get points from. One guy who's scored explosively from time to time is Jeremy Smith, but I'm just looking, he didn't join in that timeout at all, and as you say, he's sitting down next to the physio, his head's down, so clearly he's probably picked up a knock or an injury, which the Eagles can ill afford with what they've already got. So this game's becoming harder and harder for them, and also the Sharks are not making it easy. The Sharks, I think, are playing pretty well tonight, knowing under-strength Eagle taking advantage of it in the places where it's hurting the Eagles most.
I think they're running, you said before, they're running long 24-second offenses, and that's probably trying to keep the Eagles on defense for a lot longer, and that's very draining to do, especially when you're chasing the game.
Very, very difficult.
So, 10 minutes to go. Sheffield Sharks lead 61-49. As I say, the Eagles now just looking to see what they're going to come back out with. Referee Dodds telling the Eagles, please come back on court. We've got to play these last 10 minutes. And the Eagles come out with Eddie Matthew, Fab Flanoy, Kyle Williams, Ramon Fletcher. Sharks have got Chris Alexander, Mackie McKnight, Matthew Martin, Drago Brashina and Dirk Williams. Dirk Williams up to 19 points personal. He leads all scorers. Brashina has 9, Rob Marsden has 10. Yes, Matthew turns the corner. Kyle Williams, Eagles could really do with Kyle Williams getting himself going, but he did well there. Lovely pass inside to Flanoy under the basket, and Flanoy lays it in for 2. Cuts the gap to 10 points at 51-61. And really the Eagles could do with the crowd getting into this a bit more as well. Difficult when you've got so many players out. Martin thought about the 3, Kai Williams does well, and he manages to lay the ball in off the glass for 2 points. Matthew Martin having a big game, up to 8 points, well above his season average.
I'm starting to think now, Jazz, I don't think we've seen much of Mike Tuck this second half.
Mike Tuck only played 13 minutes in the whole game. Flanoy back out to Kai Williams. Kai Williams tries to shoot the 3, but Dirk Williams gets a hand on it, knocks it free. McKnight could have cut to the basket there, but he's obviously thinking about the time, thinking about the clock. Let's just control the ball, let's just control the flow of the game. That's exactly what the Sharks are doing, and doing it very well indeed. Back out, here's Brashina from a long way out, hits the front of the rim. And that's all very well running 24 seconds, but you've got to try and get a good shot as well.
Especially when you had a player who couldn't to basket who was wide open.
Here's Eddie Matthew now for Eagles. Gives it to Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams going in hard. Doesn't make the 2-point shot, and Dirk Williams is there to clean up on the boards again. Takes another rebound. Sheffield coming forward. Matthew Martin wasn't quite expecting that from Dirk Williams, but he did manage to pick it up. There's McKnight turning the corner. Brashina for another 3, and it's off again. Surprised Sheffield settling for 3s, Dave, at the moment.
I am as well, and that might give the Eagles, you know, you're talking about what the Eagles have to do. One of the things is hope that Sheffield make mistakes.
So Eagles trying to work the ball on. It's their mistake, but Flanoy battling hard, gets the ball back for his side, finds Eddie Matthew under the basket.
Oh.
Wow, overhead scooping it up.
Fantastic, what a great cut, Eddie, what a great cut.
Unbelievable finish as well.
Yeah.
So Eagles again back to within 10. There's McKnight, thought about the 3, comes inside, takes the 2-point shot instead, but that's off, and Kai Williams takes the rebound. Ramon Fletcher now, off and running, spinning, turning, but he gets robbed by McKnight, and Brashina and Dirk Williams come up with it. And Eddie Matthew called for an unsportsmanlike foul on the halfway line, saying that it was didn't play at the ball. Matthew himself looks very disappointed at the call, but that'll be 1 shot at least.
Well, I'm glad to see Coach McLeod's going to have a word with him, because, yeah, I mean, the referee gave no choice, but obviously what Eddie really needed to realise was he had 3 Eagles blocking the route to basket.
Dirk Williams misses the first. Didn't even get a chance to see he was an 86% shooter. Not anymore. So he'll go back to shoot the second one to try and keep the lead above in double figures. To 10 at the moment. It'll still remain at 10. So that foul from Matthew, it hasn't cost the Eagles anything in terms of the free throws, but obviously Sharks get possession as well. But it could, if Sharks score here, either 2 or a 3, and add the 2 free throws in, it could have been a lot worse for the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, right now Eddie needs to get that out of his system because his team need him. He just made a great cut off the ball, and also he did a nice 3-point shot earlier in the game. Oh, that is such a tough move.
Yeah, great move from Rob Marsden. Spun one way, then went the other and laid it in off the glass above Frenoy. Tough move by Rob Marsden. Frenoy couldn't have defended it much better, but still couldn't stop it. Yes, Frenoy at the other end to Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams driving in hard to the basket, but his 2-point shot is well off. Kyle Williams not shooting at his normal standard. No. 2 of 11 he is at the moment.
You'd hope, wouldn't you, that Kyle Williams would pick up some of the slack in terms of points and that Jeremy Smith would. Well, Kyle's not just making them, and Jeremy's obviously not available to play.
So now he gets that rebound from Matthew Martin's missed 3. He was still in this game at 6:39 left. Matthew thought about the 3, doesn't shoot it. Kai Williams to Fletcher. Fletcher trying to organise something. He's going to attack the basket himself. Scoops the layup, but it doesn't go. Rob Marsden picks up an easy rebound. Sheffield coming forward again.
Well, 6:21 to go, 12 lead is not absolutely enough to win a game at this stage. You can't start talking about wins, but it's where you see the Eagles closing the points, Jeff. You know these guys really well. Who do you think is going to step up and make these points for them?
Well, for me, you know, it has to come from Ramon Fletcher, not necessarily the points, but the spark has to come from Ramon Fletcher, because, you know, you're looking at, when you think of Darius Defoe, 13 points a game, Victor Moses, 18 points a game, Jeremy Smith, 14 points a game, all of them unavailable for the Eagles tonight. And Ramon Fletcher's the next top scorer with 15 points a game. So really, it's up to, I think, him. And again, Kyle Williams, who we talked about there, he's 2 from 11, and he's struggling at the moment. But for me, it doesn't really, whatever's going to happen for the Eagles, we'll see what happens. But I think Sheffield are controlling the ball so well, it means that the Eagles have got to make every single shot count, and they're just not doing that at the moment.
Yeah, they're sticking to the principles. They're sticking to the principles in particular of offense. I mean, one little hope for the Eagles is you look at the schedule, and it's quite good for them, because after tonight they've got a whole week off before they play Surrey Scorchers, who are sitting at the bottom of the league, and then there's another 6-7 days before they have to finish with a double. Even then, that double has a gap between them. No, it's not. It's back to back, isn't it? The double, yeah, back to back. So you would hope that some of the Eagles players can recover from their injuries in that spell.
I was just talking to you before the game as well, Dave, and we were talking to Ramon Fletcher last night, and we're talking about league positions and where you finish, and obviously the Eagles would like to finish in the top 3, possibly even second, but Ramon Fletcher said he didn't really think it mattered whether you finish second or third. You know, you're going to have a tough matchup against anybody in this league at the moment. Yes, Kyle Williams, there's the floater. This time it does drop from Kyle Williams. 2 points coming out of the timeout. Eagles back to within 12, but Sheffield still well in control of the game as we kicked out to 5:45 to go.
So I think you were saying one win would secure third place.
Yeah.
I think we'll get that one win. So you basically, unless London slip up big time, you're looking at Eagles Leicester, aren't you? Whichever way around it is. Is that fair? Is that right?
That's fair, yeah. And just going to Leicester with 2:53 to go in the fourth quarter down there in Leicester. They lead 67-65 against Glasgow Rocks. So that's a really tough game down there. Eagles have a chance here. Back to Kyle Williams for 3. Kyle Williams suddenly finding his shooting boots. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's a 9-point gap.
That will make him feel good. He was in every part of the offense. I thought Kai Williams might take the shot from the corner, but he saw Kyle in a better position and he knocked it down.
But at the other end, how easy did Dirk Williams make that 3 look? Ridiculously easy, really, wasn't it? Eddie Matthew, he's going to try and reply. Yeah, he tried to reply, but it didn't make it. And Rob Marsden takes the rebound. I know Dirk Williams was in lots of space, but he made that 3 look ridiculously easy.
He did, and he made that very difficult for Eddie.
Getting back on defence, here's Rob Marsden. Back out to Dirk Williams. Thought about the 3s, going for the long 3. Oh, that one hits the foot of the rim, and Fletcher takes the rebound. So that 3 from Dirk Williams had pushed the lead back up to 12, just as Eagles cut it to single figures.
Yeah, I think that I would agree with the referee on that. I mean, Chris Alexander, I thought, made a legal attempt to go over the top of that screen, which in the referee's opinion and mine clearly moved and prevented him. So I think that was the right call.
So it's an offensive foul for the screen from Kai Williams.
Yeah, illegal block on the screen from Kai.
And I'm going to be honest and say I totally agree with you, David. I'm not so sure the Eagles bench do, but perhaps they haven't got as good a view as we have. There's Alexander, back to McKnight. Alexander being very, very unselfish in this game.
Certainly has in this half, and I thought he made a terrific start to this half, which is one of the things that's put them in this position.
Dirk Williams, he's unreal for me.
Well,
when he's in this kind of form, he steps inside and gets the bounce and floats it in after being found really well by McKnight.
Yeah, I mean, he made that awesome dunk last year, I think, against the Scorchers.
Yeah.
Almost world headlines within minutes, but this year I think he's showing that he's developing very much as an all-round player.
22 and 7 for Dirk Williams, but Kyle Williams is coming alive for the Eagles at the other end. He just knocked his 2 points down, but it's still a 12-point gap and a chance for Sheffield to go further. Tuck's come on, lovely pass to Alexander cutting to the basket, but Alexander couldn't quite handle it, and he steps out of bounds as Tuck tries to give him the ball back.
You know what happened there, Jeff, is that they made a substitution and didn't quite go to the right place. They completely lost the spacing. They lost the spacing inside, and then they lost the spacing when the ball went to the corner. One of the big things about running offense is to maintain your spacing.
Flournoy inbounds to Fletcher. Fletcher going against McKnight. Good defense by Mackie McKnight, but he has Flournoy into the corner to Matthew. Matthew knocks down the three. Corner three for Matthew. Takes the gap down to 9 points again.
See me there? The camera had been on me. I was clapping. I thought that was an excellent move. Great thread pass from Lamont Prector, and a terrific find for Fab Flournoy. Well spotted up Eddie Matthews.
Well, Mosden at the other end turns against Flournoy and hook shot over the top for 2. Well, Eddie Matthew had 10 points at London on Sunday, and he's now got 8 points here. Getting some decent minutes and showing he can play in this league. Here's another one for you, Dave. I'm just about to mention something as well. As Kyle Williams tries his best to get another 2 points, doesn't make it, but recycles his own rebound. Yes, Flournoy is going to shoot the three. Makes the three for Flournoy. And suddenly it's an 8-point gap at 66 to 74, 2:26 to go. I was just thinking in this type of situation, the Eagles would normally have Drew Lasker out there. We haven't seen much of him in the second half. Just wondering if he's picked up a foul as well. Sorry, an injury as well.
Well, the first thing you do when you mention that is to look to see where a player's sitting on the bench.
He's sitting in the coach's seat and looking a bit relaxed, isn't he? Sitting
back.
Okay,
maybe without
not sure.
Without Dave Forrester here, maybe he's assumed the role of an assistant.
Eagles back to within 8 points, only 2:17 to go. Alexander's going to drive hard. Nice up and in, doesn't make it though. Who will get it? Rob Mawson was in there, and I think that's going to be a foul. Is it going to be a foul on Kai Williams or Kyle Williams? Yeah, the foul was on Kyle Williams. Who battled for the rebound.
And that's the Eagles' 14th foul, so that's another thing that's not going to make it easy for them to close this gap.
2 minutes to go. McKnight, Alexander, back to McKnight.
And another reason why the Sharks will want to work the Eagles' defence.
This time they find Chris Alexander for 3, but he doesn't make it. Kyle Williams takes the 3, the great rebound, and he's off and running at the other end. And if the Eagles can score here, Kyle Williams can't make it. But what a rebound from Fab Flournoy, but unfortunately, in trying to not go out of bounds, he throws the ball out of bounds. I think Fab thought he was fouled, but nothing called. That was a great chance. The Eagles just possibly that chance. Mike Tuck coming out, Drago Brashina coming back in.
It's not a game loser, but it could have been a game changing, because that would have reduced the gap to well, if it caught it and hit the 3, it would have reduced the gap to 5.
So 137. Sharks up by 8, a chance to go back into the double-figure lead. Shows you how much difference these players make at time. Good hands from Eddie Matthew. Knocks the ball away, but McKnight recovers it. There's Marsden. He finds Dirk Williams. Dirk Williams for 3. That hits the front of the rim, comes all the way back. And Kyle Williams picks up the long rebound. He finds Fletcher. Fletcher, lovely pass into Kai Williams. Kai Williams rolls it in for 2. Eagles back within 6. 1:11 to go. Sheffield's going to take the air right out of this ball now. They've been doing that pretty much all game. Come up with a shot at the end of it. Here's Dirk Williams. He's going on a great pass and robbing up. Offensive foul call on Rob Marsden. I think he's going to be called for a hoop.
Well, I'm not sure what he was called for. I thought that was a terrific move. I thought it was a great penetrating move and a really, really smart play by Marsden to get behind the defence where his marker had to watch the ball and step in. But the referee's closer than I am.
It was actually called on Dirk Williams for a push.
Oh, right.
I think it was Dirk Williams who was called.
Yeah,
it was Dirk Williams. First foul of the game for Dirk Williams. Eagles within 6 and 50 seconds to go. Kai Williams trying for 3 for Noy inside for the 2. That takes it to within 4. Fantastic effort from the Eagles with so many players down. Back to within 4, but Sheffield's still in control of the ball and still in control of the game. There's McKnight. Loses the ball, 33.9 to go. And Eagles have managed to come up with that ball on the sideline. And all of a sudden the crowd's right into the game. Well, and he has a substitution for a Team Alliance. I just wondered whether he might call a timeout there, but he's resisted calling a timeout.
Obviously trusts his players, but in trusting your players, you need to be saying to them, hey guys, you've been so well organised, so patient, so disciplined in your offence, and the last 2 they just got hell for the basket when they didn't need to, and turned the ball over twice. So the timeout, team foul situation is Sheffield have got 3 to give, Eagles are in the penalty, and timeout-wise, Eagles have got 1, Sharks have got 2.
Yes, Kyle Williams going to the basket, lays it in for 2. 30.6 seconds to go. And they're down to just a 2-point gap as Dirk Williams gets the ball over the halfway line. 23 seconds on the clock. Sheffield's going to try and run this all the way down before they take that shot. Slight difference between the shot clock and the game clock. McKnight it is who holds on the ball and drives in. Gives it to Marsden for 2. That's at the front of the rim. Eagles take the rebound. Foul for Noy is not. Is the foul being called? Not sure what's been called. Has it been a foul call or not?
Well, Jeff, I can't believe that we're sitting here and a few minutes ago we were looking at a very, very safe lead by the Sharks, and suddenly almost thrown it all away. Credit to the Eagles for what they've done, but the Sharks just simply have panicked.
But I think they've got that chance now, Dave. And what's happened there is Fab Fanoy came away with the ball, slipped as he came away with it. The ball went loose, and in the battle for the ball, Kai Williams is judged to have fouled Dirk Williams, and Dirk Williams will go to the line to shoot 2 with 2.5 seconds left in the game. And if he makes these 2, it probably will ice the game. Has to make them both, though. If he makes just 1, Eagles have got 1 last chance. Makes the first ice-cool Dirk Williams. Leading all scorers, that takes him up to 25 points for the game.
Make some noise!
Has to make this one as well. Does make both. And I think the Eagles have called a timeout. So 2.5 seconds, 4 points the difference. Tough asking. If you're really talking about either a very, very quick 2 and a foul or a 3 and a foul.
Maybe we can try and figure out what happened, Jeff, in this timeout, because really seriously thought that the Sharks were in control. As a double-digit lead, the Eagles pegged it back a little bit. Deserved to because of their tenacity and the way they stuck to the task. and suddenly that control, the patience Sharks had just completely went out the window.
Well, I think for me, Dave, I think they were showing all the patience that they were showing, but they just weren't taking good shots at the end of the 24.
Or making good passes, I think more probably making bad passes rather than taking bad shots.
But they still lead by 4 with 2.5 seconds to go. Dirk Williams has 25 points and 7 rebounds. Rob Marsden a double-double, 14 in points, 10 rebounds. Chris Alexander has 8 assists to go with his 4 points. Matthew Martin 8 points. Drago Brashina 9 for the Eagles. Ramon Fletcher has 15 points and 7 assists. Kai Williams has 12 points, 5 for 9. Jamal Williams 9 points. Kyle Williams 13 points and 9 rebounds for Kyle Williams as well.
So I think this inconsistency we mentioned, and Andrew Bridge mentioned to you before the game, I think we've seen it there in the sense that that terrific performance against the Rocks and 2 days later performance against the Plymouth, we've seen it all here in 1 quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's 2.5 left. Eagles to inbound to Matthew. Matthew trying to get a shot off, but the ball just dribbled free and couldn't get a shot off, and the Eagles actually go down to 76 to 72. Tough night for the Eagles with basically 3 or 4 injuries now. They did really well to hold Sharks to within 4, but doesn't matter whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4 or 24. It's about who gets the W, and that's a great win for Sharks to take them to 16 and 14 for the season, and it dents the Eagles' chances of finishing in that top 3 very slightly.
Yeah, and I think that, we'll look at all sorts of statistics as we did at half-time, and the statistics showed at half-time that the Sharks are the man. But I think in terms of the man who I think has pulled this off for them has to be Dirk Williams.
Yeah, definitely MVP performance from Dirk Williams. Just having a quick look down there at Leicester, they lead by 4, 75-71 with 15 seconds to go, and if they hold on to that position, that win, that would probably make Leicester Riders very much favourites for second place in the league. So, what else have we got left for you this week for livebasketball.tv? Well, we've got a lot for you. Tomorrow night, big playoff battle between Bristol, who are at home to Manchester, and Plymouth who go to the London City Royals. That's your Saturday night entertainment. 3 games on Sunday, which is Surrey, who play the champions-elect London Lions. Plymouth again, back-to-back games for them. They take on Worcester Wolves. And then Glasgow Rocks, who look as if they're slipping to defeat against Leicester Riders, they take on Cheshire Phoenix in another big playoff game. And we've even got 2 games for you midweek as well. On Wednesday night, the London Lions will be at home at the UEL, University of East London, against the Plymouth Raiders, and Manchester Giants will take on Sheffield Sharks, and that's another big battle, a war of the roses there in the playoff battle. But for tonight, congratulations to Atiba Lions and his Sharks for a 76 to 72 point win, and we'll be back here next Friday when the Eagles will take on Surrey Scorchers.
Next Friday, have a very safe journey home. As always, our Facebook Live interview is coming up. Make sure you check it out on Facebook. Coming up inside the next 20 minutes.